Good afternoon, everyone. I am joined today by Daniel Reed. Daniel is a national account manager with SAS Sustainability Solutions, and they're a company that offers water conservation solutions within the commercial multifamily space. Today, we're going to be discussing how implementing water efficiency can help drive down costs at multifamily properties and how CPACE might factor into that equation. So, Daniel, thanks so much again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So to start, I'm curious to hear from you just how big of an impact water usage typically has on a multifamily property owner's bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to water utility usage, that on average makes up about 40% of any property's utility expenses, which is a huge number. Which is why our team focuses on tackling that number and actually making major strides with the products that we use and just our team's work to lower that usage and then to provide those savings month over month, year over year, and then in turn, boosts the property NOI, increases that asset value, and it gives them some, a clear look into what the health of their property is, which I think is so important because a lot of property owners don't take the time to review their utility expenses as carefully as they should. And that's where a team like ours comes in. We can take a look at that for you. We give you those deep dives into what your property's water health is, and then it allows you to make great decisions that then in turn save your property money. And then a cash flow positive property is always a happy property.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Can't argue on that one. I mean, 40%, that's like a massive number.
Yeah.
What are some of the steps that property owners can take to start to kind of reduce those costs?
Yeah. When it comes to steps, the first thing that we always recommend is to speak with their on-site teams. That is a number one thing. If you have, whether your property management is internal or you hire out to a third party, having those discussions as an owner with your property managers is key. Finding out, let's take a look at what the trends are for our water usage. Are we having spikes in these certain months? What is our maintenance, calls looking like? Are we getting a lot of, oh, there's a leak here, there's, pooling here, some type of impact that's going to, build up that water usage is going to be something that we really have to take a look at. So the first step is meeting with your team. And then our team at SAS here, we come in with the next step. So we do a little bit further of a deep dive. We work with utility companies. We work, with the on-site teams, and we even provide an on-site full property review where one of our team members goes in and actually enters each and every unit and then gets a full detailed report so that these owners can make fully informed decisions on their property. So when it comes to steps, it's start with your property management team, get on the same page, and then look for the professionals like SAS who can come in and fine tune that information and help build you guys' results.
So once you've had clients take those steps, what are some of the benefits that they report after adopting some of those solutions that come out of those, just analyzing their usage?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest is always going to be lower water bills. And with that making up 40% of your utility costs, that can be a huge end of the year boost when it comes to cash flow. So a lot of times, when we get feedback on those things, it comes from the residents themselves because they do love to see property improvements. And it can even on some properties lower their bills if the properties are using REPS programs or other bill backs. But a lot of the feedback that we see on our end is just, hey, you guys have really helped us find these solutions and build back some health into our NOI at the end of the day.
Are you able to quantify the cost savings at all that are associated with taking those steps? I'm sure it varies project to project, but any sort of average savings that you might see?
Yeah. So the products that we use, on average, they're going to immediately cut water usage by 30%.
Wow.
And that's just because what a typical property has installed, depending on the year it was built, we use on average, for example, a toilet. Most toilets in properties are 1.6s. So you use 1 gallon, 1.6 gallons for every single flush. And with residents and really everybody using that multiple times a day, that's a lot of water that's used. Our partnership with Niagara Conservation has, they have a phenomenal product with their Niagara Stealth 0.8, and a 1.6 to a 0.8 is an immediate 50% savings. So in combination with the other fixtures, as well as a part of our full assessment is giving you that data prior to an installation, those are all those things that build on top of each other to help quantify those.
Awesome. Well, as you know, we are in the CPACE financing game, and CPACE is one of the tools that can be used to finance 100% of the hard and soft costs associated with those improvements that help save water at commercial properties, things like low flow plumbing. How do you sort of see CPACE fitting into the overall strategy of reducing water costs at these properties?
Really is a new avenue. So CPACE is still relatively new in some markets. And I think that growth and awareness of people finding out about this financing solution is amazing, because there are a lot of properties out there that are cash poor. They know they need to make these changes. They know that when they do, it's going to improve the property, but they don't have a way to actually fund the program. When CPACE can come in there and actually help with that financing and help those guys spread out those costs and be able to afford it, it benefits everybody to be able to, move into a more positive state within the health of the property.
Absolutely. So just to sort of round out the conversation, from your vantage point, you've got your finger on the pulse. What future trends or innovations do you foresee in water conservation for multifamily properties specifically?
Manufacturing, always going to be a big part of it. For new builds, it's going to be speccing with the right products. And for pre-existing properties, it's going to be taking the strides to upgrade. For Niagara Conservation, they're leading the industry with these new developments that they have on their fixtures. For teams like ours, it's the professionalism and the knowledge of what we're doing that provides that data for those owners to be able to do that. And then ESG, eco-friendly, green type terms and goals for properties is always going to be in the news. Every state is looking for ways to reduce water usage. And this is something that's not going away. It's always going to be at the top of the list.
Very good. Well, thank you so much again for sharing your expertise. We really appreciate it. Guys, we're going to share Daniel's contact information at the end of this video. And as always, for more information on CPACE financing and how that can help support your energy and water conservation goals at your commercial building, please give Lone Star PACE a call. Thanks so much, everyone.